Hello guys, Nigel the Nigel's Modelling Bench. It's currently April, it's nearly May 2024, and as some of you will know, I'm building this, as is Jeff Donahue over on Jeff Donahue Scale Modelling. Now, this is the Werk 8.8cm flak out 90 Vomag, so it's a big gun on a truck. Now, Werk have all their moulding done at Takom. They seem to do a lot of work with Takom. And I think Takom actually do a lot of the engineering for them, because the sprue layout, the sprue design, the way the parts are moulded is all very much Takom-esque. The instructions very, very similar. So I think there's more than just a, it's like Wingnut Wings used other companies to make their moulds and that. Airfix use a Chinese company for their mould tooling, and then they have all their production done in India, or pretty much all of it. I think this is really sort of Takom and Werk working together, very much like Andy's Hobby Headquarters and Takom work together. So I thought I'd have a look at this. Now, we're on the subject of big guns, and we're on the subject of Takom. So I wonder what this is like. This is an older Takom kit. I think it says 15 down there, so it's probably 2015. Yes, it is. I can see on the side of the box, 2015. So it's a good 8-year-old kit. I wonder what it's like. Now, I've got a feeling Takom may re-release this, because I'm kind of looking online and they're available on eBay, so they may be back again. I don't know. They were about £65–67, I think, but I've seen one made up and it is a beautiful, beautiful model. However, I don't know what it's like as a kit, so let's have a look. It's been in my stash for a while. The kit number is 2035. So it says detailed static display model, plastic model kit. Gun can elevate and depress, includes 3 types of markings, copper chain included, figure excluded, so you don't get that figure. So it says intended for collectors. It doesn't give any sizes or anything, but I know it's very big. I mean, it's 420mm, for God's sake. It's what's that? That's 4 times the size, 5 times the size nearly of the 88mm. So there you go. So looking around the box, on the side here we've got some options. It's very reflective, which is a pain. So we've got here, it says down here, Big Bertha was shipped to Aberdeen Proving Ground after the war, 1919. She's a World War I gun. And then it's got Big Bertha in German Army World War I unknown unit. And then we've got Big Bertha in German Army World War I unknown unit, Verdun Battle 1916. So that's 1916 and that's 1919. So if you really want to torture yourself with the paintwork, go for that one there. As you can see, 2015. And there's the part number there. Okay, and then going around the box, normal Takom style, we've got the plastic sprues there laid out, telling us we've got 2 times chain, 2 of that sprue, and 2 polycaps. And then here we've got some other World War I stuff you can get from Takom. As you can see, my box is a bit battered. But, there we go. So, without further ado, let's have a look at what we got in here. So, on the top we've got instructions. They're in a bag. We have a piece of artwork of the box front. It looks like we've got some polycaps and some chains in there. Let's look at them in a minute. We've got some big old chunky sprues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues. So it's a pretty simple kit. There's not a hell of a lot to it. It's certainly nothing like that Vomag with its 9 million tiny parts. So let's have a look at these instructions. 2015, it's telling us the date there. So unless that's a coincidence, it's just a numbering system. So here we go. Right, so in this bag we have, as you can see, we have instructions, we have chain which is stuck to the resealable bit, we have polycaps. So you can see we've got some nice, couple of lengths of brass chain there. Very nice chain indeed. Very nice. So they can go over there out the way for now. We've got a couple of polycaps as well. They're no doubt for the swiveling gun. And then we've got here, oh, this isn't, this is an image, but in here we've got colour callouts. So we've got World War I unknown unit, World War I unknown unit, and then the Aberdeen Proving Ground. So whether that was how they painted it or how it arrived at Aberdeen Proving Ground, you have to do some research. They've sold their soul to Ammo Mig. You have to do cross-referencing. I'm not a big fan of Ammo Mig paint, to be honest. Right, so instructions, typical opening booklet. Look familiar, guys? Very much like Werk, eh? So it's telling us some information about the gun there. You can have a read if you want to freeze frame. You can have a read of that. There you go. And you can see a side-on view of the gun there, and on the back we've got the view from the rear end. So typical Takom instructions, and there's a QR code there you can go on. So as I say, I think this has been released, and I noticed I looked up to see on Hannon's if it was actually for sale, and it wasn't there. But that great big Roamer thing, it was called the thing with the huge wheels that went and got mines. It looks like that's being re-released, so that'd be cool. So here we can see we have our tips and paints and everything, you know, colour and profiles by Mig Jimenez, but you know, cross-reference it. It's all just basic German colours. So you can see sprue layouts here. Everything is used, so that's cool. And then going straight into instructions, we're starting on the base, and as you can see, we've got 2 poly caps going in there. So they're actually for that elevation gear. So they're nothing to do with the actual pivoting of the gun itself. So this is fairly straightforward. We're going to put that glue that onto the shaft, fit that between those 2 sides, and that's it. And then we're going to fit that piece on top to hold all that together, and then fit that piece in underneath. So it's all fairly straightforward so far. And then we've got this piece going across the back. So that is that's the traversing part by the look of it. You fix that to the floor, and I guess they traverse the gun with gears on there. They've got a gear, hand cranks is it, I'm guessing. So that's all going together there, just like that. We're going to put that on. They're not telling us not to glue that gear, although if you didn't glue the gear, if you did not glue the gear, it might actually move. We shall see. You could perhaps put a brass pin through there or something. So that's all going on. And then going over the page here, we have the big capstan wheel. So I'm guessing that's part of the... Okay, so that is not... What we've just done there is nothing to do with the traversing. That's something else. This is to do with the traversing, this great big capstan here. So they wind the capstan in it to adjust the gun's traverse. Got some greeblies going on the side. Be careful not to break those off. And then we've got a great big foot plate going on. So that's going on the back there, great big foot plate. You're building up the ladders onto the sides. We've got some shells going together there. And then the shell chute. That looks like a foot of some sort. So we're going to put that together, and then put all that together. And then we're going to do this. This is the lifting crane. So that's going to go over your... that's one piece of plastic by the look of it. It's probably broken on the sprue. We shall see. And then going over here, we have the... there is the lifting crane. So that's what that is. It's a lifting crane. It's not a foot. And we're going to put that pedestal up round, and we've got a chain going on by the look of it. So there's one chain going around there. And then we're going to fit that on with the pedestal and everything. We've got another platform there going on. So lots and lots of platforms. It's quite an interesting little structure, this. Then we've got this piece going on the bottom here. I'm guessing that's the main wheel axle. I'm guessing. And then we have, these are definitely steadies for pushing the, putting down after the wheels have gone, after the gun is positioned, sorry. And then we've got that platform there, and that's all going to attach. And that's going on the front there. So we've got another platform. I hope all these platforms are holed. They look terrible if they're all blind. And then we've got the metal tyres going on, if you like to call them that, the metal blocks, tracks, whatever, going around the wheels. And we've got some axle parts there. They're sticking out outside the wheels, I think. And then this one here, this is like a platform sticking on the outside of the axle. And then here we've got part of the breech by the look of it going on. We've got that gear underneath. So this is going to be turned over in a minute. Main barrel halves going together. Oh, got barrel halves together. How will we ever manage? And then we've got the actual end of the barrel going on there. So we'll see the plastic in a minute. We'll get an idea just how big this thing is. And then we've got the sides of the breech block going on. That's going to be the main mounting. Looks very much like a Dora, doesn't it? This? And then that's going on. And then we've got the recoils going on the top. Pivoting arms going on the side. So those plastic caps are nothing to do with that, and they're not telling you to not glue that, so be careful not to glue them, because if you want the gun to elevate, you're going to want them not glued, aren't you? And then that's all going to glue down onto there, and because you haven't put any glue in there, you glue these to the chassis. That's going to hold it all together, and the gun will pivot up and down. So we've got recoil top and bottom, and we've got another platform going together there with a steel plate around the outside of it. And that is actually forming part of the base by the look of it. So it looks like they actually sit the wheels on top of that base. Okay. I'd love to see what they towed this with. And And then we've got some controls going there. We've got a big hand wheel going on the side, and then we've got a great big plate going on the front. I bet that's covered in ejector pin marks. And then we've got bits and pieces going on here, and then you're going to fit the plate on, and there's your finished gun. All done there on some glossy paper, so hold it up to the camera so you can see it. And that's it's a beautiful looking model. I've seen one at the Avon show, the IPMS show a few years ago now. So it did look very, very nice indeed. So let's have a look at some plastic. Nice to have resealable bags, although they're noisy. They are good because you can reseal them. So let's have a look. So we've got that main, here's that main base that the bottom sits on. You can see it's all very, very chunky. It's very finely moulded. And that's some rivets on there. Let's get some light on the subject. So we've got some beautifully moulded rivets on there. We've got rivets around the side, but it's not slide moulded. It's got a seam, so you'll have the seam to clean up, but that won't be too difficult because the rivets are absolutely huge. It won't be like the little rivets on that 88. And then again, we've got raised rivets, and all the holes are through. That is nice. So all the holes in the plating are through, and what they've actually done, which is very good, it looks like they've chamfered the backs out, so you get the impression of thin plate on the top. And here we've got the raised plate for grip. I don't know if you can see that. That is beautifully done. Very nice. And then again, loads of raised rivet in there. Here's the actual, that's the base of the gun, so you can see the size of the thing. That's just the body there. And then this is that big traversing plate at the back, so you can see it's absolutely massive. That's going to sit, that is going to sit in front of that, so that's going to come out like that. And then you're going to have the barrel at the front. It's a big model. It's called Big Bertha after all. So there we go. Very nice. Just keep those instructions out of the way a minute. And then here we have our second sprue. Now this is a completely different story. We've got some small parts on here. Is this going this way or that way? We're going this way. We've got some small parts on here which all look very nice. Now here I'm looking for the silly sprue gates coming onto the front face. So if you see any of that, shout. That great big capstan there for doing the traversing. Everything about this is big and chunky, isn't it? And then we've got the great big pivots for the gun. There's our shell. We've got to glue together in halves. It's not a problem. And we've got the great big feet there. Big mould seam on there to be sanded away, but that's no issue. Coil or something there, or is that a gear? Worm gear going onto there, is it? I'm not sure. Looks like it might be, doesn't it? Not sure. Then we've got a wheel there. We've got another wheel there with something there with 4 legs. I don't remember seeing that in the instructions. As you can see, lots and lots of hand wheels, so it's a lot of manual movement on this thing. That huge gear there for a traverse. Very, very nice indeed. Lovely, isn't it? Very chunky. And I can't see any of their silly moulding. They've actually managed to avoid it by the look of it. It is very nice. I can't see anything wrong with this at all. I can see traces of oil on here. You can see oil there. I'm wiping it off my finger. So yeah, it's definitely going to need a wash. Another trace of oil over there. As I said, it's nice to see a kit with some decent sized parts. And it also looks like it has decent locations for everything as well. So we'll take these both out of the bag, because when you have got 2 sprues in a bag, it's often best to get 2 out, because when you slide them out, especially bits like this, you're going to pull them off the sprue. So we'll put one to one side. It's got identical sprues. So these are sprues. I like the way they've done this. Put the letter through. That's really good. They've got the writing on the other side. So there's part of the gun. I don't remember seeing that in there, but I don't know what it was. And then here we've got our wheels with the lovely bolts and everything on there, rivets. And then here we've got those track blocks going around the outside. And then we've got these track blocks that we're going to add to it, very much like that big Mouser thing, whatever it was called. ladders there. We've got 2 ladders, 2 of everything on here because we've got 2 sprues. Which is very nice. Here we've got the sprue nibs coming onto the front face, but they couldn't put them on the back because they've got a step there, so we'll forgive them that one. But other than that, no, it's lovely. It's so big. Just all seems really chunky and toy-like compared to that Vomag kit. I think that Vomag scarred me for life, I think Jeff's having some fun with it as well, to be honest. Right, so I've noticed there's nothing off the sprues, and there's no flash. It's very, very, very nice. Now we've got the lovely punch through holes here, and as you can see again on the back, they sort of beveled them on the back so it looks thinner from the front. So that's really nice. It's also easier for them to mould them like that as well. But also look, because you know that quite often I thin things out from the back to make them look thinner. This is lovely, very nice, really crisp, clean, sharp. There's rivets on there. You can see they're very nice, perfect for rivet counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that. It's not broken. I said it'd be broken, and it's not. There's that one-piece lifting rope with the mechanism for picking up the shell. So that's cool. I'm loving these floors. They look lovely. Ejector pin marks are all on the back, which is nice. There's your main gun barrel. No rifling or anything. I doubt if it did have rifling. Ejector pin marks on the inside, but who cares? Might want to deal with that one if it's right at the front. Unless there's another barrel that goes in front. Is there? I can't remember now. But no, all in all, it's all big, isn't it? Here's that gun shield. Right, there's that shield. It's going over the front, the armour, whatever it is. And I said, before I look at it, I said, I'll bet it's absolutely covered in ejector pin marks. I'm going to keep my hand over it so that you can't see. It is the other side. Which side is it? So keep my hand over it so that you can't see. I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. There's ejector pin marks all over there, look. So let's turn this over and take it out. Right, so there you can see the size of the thing now. So you've got the main gun barrel there, and you've got the barrel coming out at the end of it, and you've got that huge great thing going on the back, which sticks out like here somewhere. So you've got your barrel pivoting here. So it's a big model. So here we've got the main sides. You can see we've got the ribbing there and all those massive rivets. All big dome-headed rivets. It's great, isn't it? And then we've got lots more smaller rivets on here. All raised detail and recessed lines. Very nice indeed. Now I'm looking here and we've got ejector tabs all around this part. So do we have ejector pin marks in it? OMG! None! Look at that! There are none! Bloody hell, Takom! They obviously had their A-team design in this. That's lovely. You've got all the stiffener detail in there. And then you've got all that detail there is recessed. So I'm just wondering, I'm just going to look at the picture on the front. This is all rivets, and yet on here they've got it all recessed. I wonder why they've done that. Maybe it's for us to add our own rivets. Have they got rivets on the sprue? No. That is very, very strange. Everywhere there's raised rivets, even on here, you can see on here, all down there, all across there, all down there, they've put raised rivets. But here, they've got recessed. And yet when you look at the artwork on the front of the box, it's all raised. All of it. I wonder why they've done that. Now this is a perfect opportunity to get little solder balls or something and glue them in there to look like rivets. But the trouble is they're going to have to match these. Well, you could use the little anise ones and just cut the backs off them Use the little 0.4 ones. But, drive you absolutely crazy, wouldn't it? But it's, I don't know why they've done that. Is there anything about it in the instructions? Let's have a look. Let's have a look just before we start giving them 7 out of 10 and stuff like that. No, nothing at all. I wonder why on earth. They've even drawn them on here as raised rivets. You can see them all there. Unless the designer got the tooling backwards. Maybe that's what it was. But then they got these. So you can even see here, we've got recessed rivets going into raised rivets. How very, very strange. And all this down here is all recessed as well. It wouldn't be a problem to add them, but it'd be nice if you didn't have to, wouldn't it? In fact, these are going to have to be filled because they're huge, those holes there. How strange. How very, very strange. I was about to give this a 10 out of 10 review. It might go together like a piece of poo. But here we've got the sprue gates that are going onto the front face, but it's not an issue because there's no detail around them, so I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to knock them for that at all. It's when they do things like put a sprue gate, you know, there. You think, oh, thanks for that. No, it's lovely. It's very, very nice. I wonder why they've done that. That's very, very strange. Very strange indeed. Anyway, that has been a review. That's it. That's all it is. There's not a lot to it. That has been a review of the Krupp 420mm Big Bertha gun. And it has 42 centimetres, 16.5 inches. So, does it say on here, it weighed 43 tonnes. They were nicknamed for the wife of Gustav Krupp, owner of Krupp Arms Works. They had a firing range of 15 kilometres, were first used by Germany as they advanced through Belgium in 1914. Transported in pieces, moved by rail, assembled in place, their 820 kilogram shells, wow, proved devastating against the Belgian forts, but were somewhat less effective against the sturdier French forts. These howitzers were also used as siege weapons by the Eastern Front. On the Eastern Front, by 1917, they were less accurate due to the wear on the barrels and were extremely vulnerable to counter battery fire once located by the enemy, and were thus decommissioned after the Battle of Verdun. So there we go. So you can see how big this thing's going to be there. We've got, okay, if I stretch my fingers out, that's the length of the main body. Okay, so you can see that when you take the barrel and that piece behind, it's more than twice the length of that. So it's, from the edge of that book, it's at least this long. It's big. It's a big old model. Anyway, there we go. That's been that review. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it inspired you to go and get one if you're into World War I stuff. It does look very, very nice. Just that's a mystery to me. It's not so much that it's annoying. It's like, it's why, when the rest of the model is plastered in beautiful rivets, and even this plate is, why? Ideas on a postcard, please. See you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.